If you've ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or just ready for a complete life reset, this video is for you. Today, I'm going to share with you the exact 4-month framework that has totally helped me transform my life multiple times. This is not just another vague follow your dreams video. I am breaking down the step-by-step practical system that is inspired by slow productivity expert Cal Newport that works every single time. In this video, you are going to learn how to create a life that feels more aligned with your values without burning out, how to master the art of doing fewer things, but doing them remarkably well, and how to design a lifestyle that gives you more time for what matters most. If you're ready to stop feeling scattered and start living with intention, then keep watching. If you're new here, I'm Maddie, and on this channel, we explore crafting a life that feels good from the inside out with tools like minimalism, slow living, intentional living. So if you're into that too, I would love to have you subscribe. I make new videos every week. So welcome to your 4-month journey of purposeful inner work and total transformation. In this comprehensive guide, we will be exploring a proven structure that I have used many times in my life to completely reinvent myself through intentional living, deep work, and purposeful, meaningful minimizing. Disclaimer, this is a total overhaul, a complete lifestyle refresh, routine reset. I think of it like a detox to kind of get recentered, more aligned, and remarkably more accomplished and less busy. Okay, so I am actually 2 months into a large overhaul that I began planning at the end of last year. Many of you know that I just recently had my 3rd baby, and I think this requires no explanation. From my experience, women hear this and they're just like, yep. But in my experience, each baby really requires you to level up, to completely shed your past self, and to grow fully into a brand new you. In my experience, it can kind of be intense. There are always tears, confronting of things that you've maybe been stuffing down for a while. And there's also bliss, and it's beautiful. And I always find myself filled with new ideas and clarity and purpose. Which brings me to this idea of the 4-month reinvention and the fact that I am actually doing this right now in my real life. And then of course, I just thought of all of you. I know you're gonna love it too. So without further ado, let's walk through this 120-day proven system that combines deep work with minimalism and provides a practical roadmap to redesign your life for greater meaning and impact. Number 1 is reconnecting to your core. So in Slow Productivity, which is one of my favorite books by Cal Newport, he talks about reconnecting to your core as just kind of like discovering or maybe rediscovering what is truly important to you without the constant noise of digital distraction. As you're working through this initial phase, I want you to start journaling about the kind of lifestyle that you want to be living. How does it feel? What is the pace? What is really meaningful to you? How do you want your work to feel? How would you like regular daily life to feel? What do you really wish you had more time for? What would you be truly relieved to not have to do anymore? So here's some ideas for reconnecting with your core. The first would be taking a nature retreat. I think for me, reconnecting with my core and my sense of awe and wonder for life is very much sparked by nature, the wilderness, the outdoors. Number 2 is an environmental reset. You have heard me talk about this so many different times. This is looking at your physical space and decluttering it, recreating it into a space that supports you, that supports focus, that aligns with your core values, to signal to your brain, hey, something's going on here. The old is gone, the new is here. It's a fresh start, a clean slate. Sparkling clean energy. And of course, if you're really ready to deep dive into an environmental reset, my Wholehearted course is designed to do just that, to help you reset your home and your life for value-centric living. Number 3 is rereading a book or listening to a piece of music that really spoke to you, or revisiting a specific place that you've been, maybe a certain house that you need to just go stand out front of, or a park bench that you need to sit on, that really reconnects you for whatever reason back to you. It signals to your brain something deep. You feel me? Hey guys, real quick, if you are starting your life reinvention today, I just want you to know that I turned this whole video into a comprehensive, interactive life reinvention workbook. It's filled with templates, timelines, powerful journaling prompts to help you reconnect to your core, even a look at some of my own personal overhauls and how I've used this framework to reinvent my life multiple times over, organized and simplified into one place to help you design your new lifestyle. So check it out, the Life Reinvention Workbook, in the description box of this video. Once you've got a good brainstorm session done with this, try to edit it down to just a few sentences at most. This is going to be your core statement for living. It's the center of your lifestyle design to help keep you grounded to who you are and how you want to live. This is really powerful. It's the foundation to this life reinvention, and it's so necessary before you get to the other levels that we're about to get into. It's what's going to be the fertile soil that brings to life the rest of this system. Now that you're looking at your core, I want you to create 1 or 2 daily, doable discipline habits. Not things you think you should do or that everyone else says you should do, but things that protect that no day goes by without you living in a way that grounds you to this core. It's to make sure you keep living every day the way you want to be living. Make sure this is something that is large enough that it develops the skill of discipline, but that's not too big that you're gonna fall off the wagon and feel really down about it. This is just about crafting a fun and fulfilling life. So don't forget that. Okay, so now that we've got our foundation, our soil, it's rich, it's fertile, let's move on to month 2. Month 2, now we enter the master inventory. Skipping these first 2 phases is why I think most people fail at their goals. I know it's why I certainly failed at most of my goals, or I would work super hard and accomplish very little. I think in large part it's why the saying, man, time's just flying by, has become as common as good, just busy, when people are asked about the status of their lives. Okay, so take your sheet of paper, or ideally the ebook that you've printed out and are now putting into sheet protectors and you're gonna use and refer to and work through. At the top of one side, I want you to write household. And at the top of the other, I want you to write business. This is not complicated. Basically what we're doing here is just creating one place to capture everything, every single thing you spend your time doing. And I want you to start separating work from the rest of your life. Now, be careful, because this isn't about judging like, oh, I shouldn't be spending my time doing this and giving yourself a hard time. This is about you becoming a third-party observer of your life and just noting what's going on. I think the household tab is pretty self-explanatory here. By the way, if you're a mom, I think it is very important that you separate, or at least learn to separate in your mind, what your work is. I think that for me, having a smartphone and working from home has allowed work and the rest of my household tasks to really melt together into what can sometimes become a never-ending mess of tasks that are just altogether overwhelming. And if we're not careful, it will keep us way too busy, no matter what, from living the way that we really want to and from being really potent with our work. So I just want you to go. I want you to catch it all on a piece of paper, every single thing. And just to get you started, here are some personal examples from my most recent catch-all. I personally noticed that I was spending a lot more time than I thought on my smartphone. A lot of my downtime started being time where I was making, or at least thinking, I always had that tab open for like, oh, this is a good moment, I could turn this into a reel, or I could film this so I can use this later. Or even just like turning on a podcast when I really was craving some downtime. I noticed there were just really large chunks of time that if I didn't have my phone with me, I could free up and feel a lot more balanced. I also noticed that I was trying to sneak in my work at every possible little open nook and cranny, and it was making me feel altogether overwhelmed. But when I looked at it on paper, I actually wasn't spending that much time working. I was just trying to squeeze things into other things rather than practicing deep work. The other thing that really stood out to me in my master catch-all was just how much time I was spending cooking and not really having a plan. So those were some things that I noticed. So after I had it all written down, that is when it was time to start making some edits. This is where we start to eliminate ruthlessly. You have heard me, I'm sure, talk about decluttering your house. And if you've taken my course, then you know it is also so important to declutter your lifestyle. What can we eliminate here altogether? When I was looking at my life, I decided that it is actually really possible for me to eliminate my smartphone altogether. And so I'm actually 1 month into my life without a smartphone, and I have never felt more balanced. So I'm really glad that I kind of noticed that and started catching it. By the way, you know I'm gonna make a video about that in the future. Lots of videos probably. I can't wait to talk more about my life this year without a smartphone as it unfolds. So what can you eliminate altogether? If you can't eliminate it, what can you automate? What can you look at your schedule and be like, okay, this repeats every single week. I probably could just do this one time and then not do it again the whole month. What can you schedule so that you don't need to think about it anymore? Okay, example for us, I talked about the cooking thing and how I was just like spending so much time cooking and feeling like it was a mountain that I could never climb. I decided to just print off a few of our family favorite meals that I make all the time and just be like, guess what? I'm done meal planning. I hate meal planning. It's really overwhelming for me. It's such a big task when it's grocery day and it's like, shoot, I gotta make a meal plan. I just decided, you know what, for the winter, these are like the 4 to 8 meals we're gonna make. It's gonna take the decision fatigue away from me and be such a relief. I know that my family likes to eat them. I know that these are balanced, nutritionally rich foods that are good for us. And there we go. I just freed up a whole lot of time for me to relax and take a nap rather than stress about my meal plan. There are also things that are easy that with repetition, I think I can make in big batches and then know that like, oh, well, next Tuesday, I don't need to make this recipe. It's already been made. Little switches like that with like a little bit of intention can go a long way in preserving a little more space for being unbusy in our lifestyles. The idea here is just to close down as many tabs as humanly possible. We're not trying to just like do a little bit of cleanup. We're trying to create expansive space to do radically fewer things. That is the secret. It's not necessarily that you won't do all the things you want to do. You just have to come to terms, like I did, with the fact that you can't do them all at one time. You can keep all those goals and put a little asterisk next to them that says soon. I can shut down that tab in my head right now because right now I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna do this one thing, and when that's done, I'll move on to the next thing. We're gonna get into all that a lot deeper in the next few minutes, so don't worry. We're just gonna focus on 1 or maybe 2 overhauls, so let's get into that now. Since we're covering a lot of ground right now, let's just do a little quick review of what we've covered so far. Month 1, we are reconnecting to our core. We're recreating that rich soil for the rest of our life reinvention to grow from. From that, I want you to create a core living statement that's going to guide you and ground you to the way you want to craft your lifestyle in the future. It's a guide for your life direction. From that, you're going to establish 1 or maybe 2 very daily doable disciplines that protect your desired lifestyle. This can be something like taking a walk in nature every day for 10 minutes, spending 10 minutes of quality time with your spouse or with each child every day, putting your phone away for meal times, reading the Bible every day or a page from a good book. Or maybe it has to do with the way you care for yourself. Maybe it's a discipline like exercise or deep work, or maybe it's taking an afternoon nap every day. These are just examples. Be sure to make sure that this connects with what you desire for crafting your lifestyle and not things that other people tell you you should be doing. And finally, we talked about the master edit. We are decluttering, we are eliminating, we are simplifying and automating as much as we can to create as much expansive space again in our lives as possible. Okay, so now we're ready for the third part of our life reinvention. We are on our way to making our life truly remarkable over the next 4 months, not just randomly setting goals and hoping for the best. Here is where we start to just kind of dream and decide about areas of our life that we desire to make truly remarkable. What has never worked for me is that whole goal setting pie chart that emphasizes balance. Like, so long as you set goals in all 4 quadrants of your life, physical health, relational health, spiritual health, financial health, you'll be balanced. I think it's terrible advice. I also think that for me, it has pretty much guaranteed that I will work myself sick and always come up short. And then I walk away from my goals feeling defeated rather than invigorated and excited about continual growth. The goal here in our life reinvention is not to make all areas of our life remarkable at once, but instead to choose intentionally 1 or maybe 2 areas to focus on with full focus during this 4-month life reinvention period. This focused approach really allows for meaningful progress rather than scattered efforts and burnout. Remember, we're looking to do fewer things with impeccable quality. Here are some areas of your life, just to get your ideas flowing, that you might want to make remarkable through a slow living lens. Maybe you'd like to overhaul your morning routine and transform your mornings into like sacred ceremonies. Maybe you want to overhaul your home environment and really create a sanctuary where people can come and receive hospitality. Maybe you want to overhaul your food and nourishment, grow herbs in your backyard and only shop at farmers market, and really grow in your craft for cooking. I know my friend Caitlin shared with me that an overhaul she wants to make, I love this idea, was hosting. She wants to overhaul hosting in her life and really make it something that's remarkable, that others would remark about her. She wants to throw some remarkable parties for her and her family and her friends, and like really get into it, like really make them beautiful and like romanticize the whole process of it, from crafting together like the linens and the florals to the menu and the drinks. And even if it's just like al fresco at the park, that she would like think about that with the menu and the vibe and like really make this a remarkable area of her life. I love that idea. My mom said that she's doing a personal style overhaul, and I love this one too because it just sounds so fun. For one, the way we look, it says a lot about ourselves, not just to other people but to us and to how we live and move and feel in our daily life. And I think it's a wonderful place to start choosing intentionally less but better, to do fewer things with higher quality. I think I could actually make a whole video about detaching ourselves from things. I talk about a lot about like minimalism on this channel. It's also like a whole nother skill to start not idolizing our things, allowing ourselves to wear them out and use them. But that's a video for a different day. I've decided to do a small overhaul with my health. I've had a baby about 5 months ago, and I decided that I just would like to lose some weight. And there is a healthy way to lose weight in a way that promotes self-love, in a way that promotes food enjoyment and doesn't have to like deprive us. So that's a small overhaul that I'm focusing on. So when selecting your overhauls and your areas that you desire to make remarkable, let's consider a few things. What feels most aligned with you from your month 1? Where do you currently feel the biggest gap between where you are and how you really want your lifestyle to feel? And then we end up at the 4th layer of our life reinvention, and that is month 4, where I want you to perform one small overhaul. That is all, but let's not turn this into like a productivity, do it all, become crazy busy mom boss type energy. Let's perform one thing and do it with impeccable quality, right? In a way that gives us more life in our life. And I want you to plan for a big overhaul, like maybe a business that you'd like to start, or maybe it's pulling your kids out of school and starting homeschooling. Something bigger that you're not gonna just do in the next month, right? It's gonna take like a little bit more planning. And so I want you to start dreaming about that and planning for that. And by the end of this 4 months, you'll be well on your way to a complete life transformation in a way that in at least one area of your life, people will remark about you something that they've never had before. Like her health's really important to her. She's in great shape. She looks super healthy. She is really stylish. That's something that's really cool about her. Like she takes her personal style really seriously. And I kind of love that. It's not about getting approval from other people. Since that's what the word remarkable kind of like brings to mind for me, I think it's okay to start talking to yourself like that and filling your mind with words of affirmation that are remarkable about the areas of life that you have established and kind of identified during this life reinvention process. Hey guys, real quick, if you are starting your life reinvention today, I just want you to know that I turned this whole video into a comprehensive, interactive life reinvention workbook. It's filled with templates, timelines, powerful journaling prompts to help you reconnect your core, even a look at some of my own personal overhauls and how I've used this framework to reinvent my life multiple times over, organized and simplified into one place to help you design your new lifestyle. So check it out, the Life Reinvention Workbook, in the description box of this video. Something I love about this particular life reinvention process that Cal Newport outlines is that it really starts to heal our brains from thinking like this cultural brainwashing that makes us think that work is everything in our lives. And it kind of like helps put it back into perspective that work is just one lever we can pull for crafting a meaningful lifestyle to us. Life encompasses so much more than work, and so do goals, so do overhauls. I would love to know which area of your life that you're considering as your first small reinvention, or maybe like sharing. I'm sure other women would get inspired by hearing different other like-minded women's core statements or words. Remember that remarkable change happens when we do fewer things with higher quality. So start small and just stay consistent. Eliminate, ruthlessly eliminate, and watch your life become remarkable one area at a time. I'll see you soon.